Hello everyone, welcome back to Marching on FPL. The Leeds fan taking on FPL for his third season. I'm here to talk to you about the player prices that have just been launched by FPL. The game's just been launched today, and some very interesting prices have been dropped. To start off, Alexander Isak coming at 10.5 million. Very good expected goals and not too bad expected assists either for a striker. Obviously on penalties as well, which is a very good perk. And decent expected points over the first week and then the first week to the sixth week. And I think this is a good option, and that is because the fixtures are okay. You know, three out of the six are quite tricky in Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal, and then three are a bit easier in terms of Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth, maybe a little bit more tricky, but they have got the three fixtures that are very difficult, which is why I've only put it at a good option. If the fixtures were a little bit better, it'd be a great option. But overall, I think this is a good one. Moving on to a new player in FPL, we've got Florian Wirtz coming in 8.5 million. Cheaper than I thought he would be, actually. I thought he'd be coming in about 9.5. So a good thing for managers looking for this player. Um, Expected goals and assists are okay. Obviously, data from the Bundesliga hasn't traditionally gone well with lots of Havertz and Timo Werner and Kunku, etc. But he's still putting up some decent expected points in the first 6 weeks. I think it is a wait because we need to see if he's starting in pre-season, what position he's actually going to be taking up. You know, is he even playing in that attacking midfield place where Szoboszlai was very effective last year? Is he going to be playing from the left where Gakpo was effective? Is he going to be playing up front? We don't necessarily know at the minute. We don't know where his uh, place lies in the team, or is he going to be playing deeper? In which case, he probably wouldn't be an option at all. So I think we need to see some pre-season games before we make a judgment on it. But could be a very, very good addition to the game. Now his teammate Mo Salah, 14.5 million. It didn't really matter what price it came in at. He is quite expensive um, at 14.5. However, as you can see, I've put their first name on the team sheet. You know, his expected goals at 0.74 with the expected assists at 0.42. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. He's got the most expected points in the first week of 8.62, and then he's also got the most expected points in the first 6 weeks of 50.26. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Some decent fixtures in there as well. Burnley, Everton, Crystal Palace, the last three, you know, Newcastle, sorry, Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Arsenal. Bit more tricky, but this man delivers in big games. So, yeah, first name on the team sheet. Most certainly the captain, probably in the first week. Yeah, not much more to say, really. Going on to Erling Haaland, 14 million. Did not have a good season last year. Hit with injuries, etc. 14 million, I think, is just too expensive for him. You know, expected goals, he's got this pretty much same as Salah. You can see there 0.78. Salah had 0.74, but the expected assist, Salah just clears him with 0.42 as opposed to Haaland 0.12. Expected points 6.40 in the starting game week, and then 38.54 in the first 6 game weeks. For that price, he's just an avoid. You know, I think there's other players I'll get onto that I think are just better than him. Um, and having said that, we're going to go over to the website. Now this is just a preset team, but I just wanted to look at a couple of players. If we go some midfielders, I did want to look at, and we'll go by price. Um, Obviously, we spoke about Salah already. Palmer and Saka, I think they're better options than Haaland in terms of points, and they're coming a lot cheaper for their teams. You know, Saka, talisman of Arsenal, coming in at 10 million. I think about fair. Palmer being just a bit more expensive, probably because of the Club World Cup, not Premier League performances. Um, but a thing we have to take into account for this season, of course, is the defensive contributions, in which Bruno Fernandes is very good at. So I think a lot of managers aren't going to like him at 9. I really like him at 9. Uh, yeah, at the minute, if I was building a draft, which I will build a draft and put a video out for that probably tomorrow, he would be in it. Yeah, probably over the likes of Wirtz and other midfielders around the 8.5 and 8. I think I would try and get up to Fernandez. Wirtz we spoke about. I think he could be a very, very good option. Marmoush again. I think he could be a very good option. I think managers aren't going to like him being a midfielder at 8.5. People like him being a midfielder instead of a forward because you get more points and easy to pick, really. But it's I do like that. If he can get that left wing position, it'll be very exciting. Other mentions Mbeumo. Obviously, looks like he's going to Man United. Foden, I really like Foden. I think he could have a big year. Obviously, the data's not going to support him from the last year, but I think he could be very, very good. Eze, don't mind that. 7.5 feels like he's been like that for a couple of years now. Gakpo, very good data last year. If he gets locks down a left wing position, I think he could be a massive bandwagon going into game week 1. Madueke at 7. Um, with the opening fixtures that Arsenal do have, they're not bad for attacking point of view. I think he could be. Let's give White. They're not bad from attacking point of view with Leeds game week 2. Man United, obviously not the greatest season last year, but Liverpool, Forest, City, tricky fixtures. I don't think I'd start with him, but looking forward, he could be a go-to. Rodgers, I really do like Rodgers. Big game player, we know that. Um, you know, decent fixtures, I think, in the first 5 or 6 game weeks. 7 million coming in cheaper than the likes of your Luis Diaz, Fodens, and Buemus, etc. I think that's very good. There was one more that I did want to speak about. Actually, a couple more. James Maddison, 7 million, very, very good data. If he started for Tottenham, he's in my team. With Burnley game week 1, potentially looking at a bench boost at the minute. He's right up there in terms of options. Sarr, 6.5 million. He's in my team. Yeah, incredible data from last year. Decent fixtures in the opening ones. Yeah, I really, really do like Sarr. Looking at the forwards, then, we spoke about Haaland, spoke about Isak, Watkins at 9. I think it's a bit of an avoid until obviously he hasn't got much competition anymore, like he did have at the start of last year with John Duran, but or Rashford for the end of last year. But I just think 9 million's a lot of money for someone like Watkins. Not probably going to be on penalties. If he is, he's not very good at them. I think I'd avoid Watkins for now. Bowen moving to a forward is interesting. I think some people think he's going to be a worse option because obviously he doesn't get the extra point for the goal. He's probably worse for bonus. He's still probably been playing as a right winger. I don't mind Bowen from the first week. Good fixture. If he's a midfielder, I think he'd be pretty much guaranteed in my team. Moving to a forward, it makes me not like him as much, especially as he's the fourth most expensive forward in the game now. Havertz staying as a forward is just not an option. Wissa, João Pedro, Mateta, Wood, Solanke, I like them. I think depending on how pre-season goes, I'll probably have one at least, maybe two of these players. All quite similar. Talisman of the team, penalties. You know, João Pedro a bit unknown of him moving to Chelsea. Wissa's also been talked about moving away, but I like them ones. Moving down, you got Liam Delap. I think João Pedro's probably got the striker position locked down. So I do want to look at the defenders now as well, and then the goalkeepers. The defenders, I have looked at this already. A lot of defenders at 6 million. Um, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Cucurella as well. Uh, I think Cucurella could have been a really, really good option if he came in at 5 or 5.5. They have put him up at six along with the other best defenders in the game. I think that is worthy. It's a bit annoying because I think he'd have been a bit of a steal, a little bit cheaper, and he could have been put cheaper as well. Um, Moving down, you got the Arsenal defenders at 5.5. Here we all, they've kind of made it so the backup players are also that price. Reece James at 5.5. If he can stay fit, probably say it every year, but could be a very good option. Munoz at 5.5. I very, very, very much like the fixtures. In the first three, maybe not the best, but then moving forward, I do like that Sunderland West Ham uh, entrance point for Munoz. They have put Branthwaite and Tarkowski. Obviously, Tarkowski the best player for the defensive contributions. They have put them up at 5.5 million, which is very interesting. Paying 5.5 million for an Everton defender that you'd think would be battling relegation, certainly down there, is quite mental. But the defensive contribution could play a big impact on that. Man City defenders all at 5.5. Lewis Hall 5.5. The two Forest centre backs at 5.5, which is interesting. They've put them more expensive than Neco Williams and Aina at 5, who I think could be options. Um, they clearly think defensive contribution is going to play a big impact. Someone for that I think could be very good is Lacroix. Um, Very good data from last year for that chip. Chalobah as well. So looking at these centre backs, moving on to the 4.5 millions, Konsa. I don't think it's a bad option. Some of the Brentford ones, maybe Pinnock, Van der Berg, depending who's playing. Stupilan's interesting at 4.5. Obviously not the best attacking data last year, but injuries did ruin his season a little bit. So if he's playing, it could potentially be very, very cheap from, we've seen him do very well previously. Fofana as well, could be first choice centre back for Chelsea. Um, Guehi, 4.5. Again, defensive contributions could be very nice. Got the Leeds defenders, Fulham defenders at 4.5. Bogle could be a very good option. People won't believe me now. Just remember I said it. That's all I'm going to say. Man United, we've got Dallo at 4.5. Not the best data. No, he's a decent player. If he can start for Man United and they can turn the season around a bit, he could be a good option. Van der Ven, I don't mind that at 4.5. And there was a couple more I wanted to talk about at the 4 million. So I've found some that will play. Beal will play. He's suspended for the first game. As I'm a Leeds fan, I give my take on this. Rodon, 4 million. I very, very much like that for a bench option. And Goodmanson as well will play as a Leeds left back. But, Rodon, Beal will be the two centre backs. Beal not in the first game, it'd probably be Bornau, maybe Pascal Struijk, who's 4.5 million. But, between Beal, Rodon, and Goodmanson, I think will be one of my 4 million defenders. They've got the Sunderland ones. And I'm guessing the Burnley ones there are also 4 million. Um, if we have a look at the goalkeepers, you know, we obviously knew Pickford's price, 5.5 million, expensive. Raya, Raya Becker, Edison, kind of knew they were going to be 5.5. Martinez suspended the first game for that red card, 5 million. I think that's fair. Trafford, it's annoying he didn't come in at 4.5 for the Burnley goalkeeper because it looks like if he goes to Newcastle, he'd have been a good option at 4.5. But at 5 makes it more interesting. Chelsea goalkeeper, Palace, all these, yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. Vicario, I don't mind the look of for the first couple of weeks. Going on to the 4.5s, you've got Petrovic for Bournemouth now. Um, we've got Kelleher, Verbruggen. There's not many options at 4.5. What I do find interesting is that Liverpool's second keeper is 4.5. If Alisson gets injured, which, in a couple of games a season, you do see Alisson get injured, he could become an option for a short period of time. Very good goalkeeper if he can nail down the starting space. Looking at the 4 millions, Darlow for Leeds could start the season if Leeds don't sign a keeper. He's first choice at the minute over Meslier, who is 4.5. Darlow is first choice at 4. So he could be not a bad one for 4 million. Um, that's the only ones I've really seen for that. Um, but yeah, it's exciting times with FPL being back, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you. With some of the new players like Verts, but also the seasoned veterans like Mohamed Salah and Haaland. For what it's worth, I think Salah and Haaland together is going to be pretty much impossible. You're going to have to pick. I think the majority of people will pick Salah. I will be in that camp as well at the minute, unless something drastic changes in pre-season. But thank you very much for watching. Please check me out on my other socials. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.